as a teacher, the idea of education in a classroom is basically a blackboard and chalk. Engage with students more, and at the same time, our students also, reciprocating the interest.
So what we do, we generally float live projects in the classroom. Definitely, we try that whatever student is learning in the classroom, that should be applicable.
Students learning by themselves. There are many resources available right now, and your AI, your digital content platforms. YouTube is one of the biggest platforms where students are learning, specifically for coding and specifically for other things. So what is your take on that?
So definitely, students are doing on their own, but teachers mentor them.
What is the role of assessments?
Yes. So we just don't assess the memory of the student. We focus on the skill building.
What things have you noticed in this change, and was this change easy to adopt?
Everyone has adopted it very easily, very comfortably, and students are very enjoying this process.
So when we talk about making students market ready,
A huge exposure is given to the students.
what do you think a student should prepare themselves to when they come to a university? A classroom is where students are taught, futures are built, and careers are launched. Hi, and welcome to another episode of the Future You podcast. I'm your host, Dishang, and today with me, I have someone very special who has spent all of her life for students in a classroom and beyond. Dr. Kajal Thakuria, HOD Design, Vivekananda Global University. Welcome, ma'am.
Thank you, sir, for having me. And I feel always happy to talk about teaching, especially on the platform like yours. So thank you.
Feel free to talk about anything, ma'am. Today, what I have got to talk to you about is classrooms. Basically, every student in his mind thinks that, a classroom is not a place for them. It's like they are being tortured to go there, or it's like, they don't just want to be there. It's very confining for them. So, is that the same scenario today, or some things have changed?
No, definitely the scenario is completely changed. Actually, we converted those boring classrooms into the gamification, like a game zone. So I would like to quote some of the example of our university. If we start with the classroom, what we do generally, we do the activities like quizzes, game board, and group discussions, and some kind of fun competitions, academic competitions, so that students get involved in those activities, and their learning become very engaging and fun filled. So at the same kind of thing we do in the classroom, as well as at the department level, as well as at the university level. So another example is like in the last semester, what we did, we just floated a competition that is the best case study design competition, where a student presented their work. 100% participation of the students was there. And one interesting thing in that activity is at the first stage, there was no involvement of any teacher. So competition was held by the students. Competition was judged by the students only. So students judged and reviewed each other's work. So what we are doing, what am I doing is not so important, but what others are doing is very important. So a student took very intense interest in reviewing each other's work, and they reviewed very well. They voted for each other's work. So out of 300 or something, 350 students, 5 best entries were selected. Then we came into the scene. Then we invited the industrial experts and professional experts and academic experts outside the campus. And then those students who were shortlisted, they presented their work in front of the department, in front of the university. And very, we must say, very energetic and very full of involvement atmosphere was created that time. And a student definitely presented their work, presented their thought process in front of everyone. And out of those 5 students, shortlisted students, three best entries were selected and they were awarded. So such kind of atmosphere we try to create in the classroom, in the department. So learning become fun and engaging.
So this gamification, like what resources does it require? Like as a teacher, the idea of education in a classroom is basically a blackboard and chalk, right?
Yes.
So what are the other things that your university or as a teacher you have equipped yourself with to engage with students more, and at the same time are students also reciprocating the interest?
Definitely, as I mentioned, the quizzes, leaderboard exercises, group discussion, we do all kind of things. And except it, we emphasize students to do live projects. So what we do, we generally float live projects in the classroom, and we have multiple sources for that live projects. So one of them is we have consultancy sale in our university, and in fact in every department. So like we have the design department, and in that we have consultancy sale where we get the industry projects, and what we do, we convert those projects as an academic curriculum, as a academic enough academic framework. So and we float that project in the classroom as an assignment. A student work on that, and the best work and the best solution will deliver to the client. So like in the same manner, we another source, we have the faculty itself. So many of the faculties in our university, they are practicing, they come from the industry, and they teach also. So they share their practical experience, their knowledge with the students in the classroom, and whatever the current projects they are doing, they just map with that academic framework, academic structure, and they float in the as an assignment in the classroom. Student do work on that, and those outcomes they will share with the clients, and student get the exposure, practical exposure of doing all such kind of works. One another very interesting example I would like to quote here, that sometimes we don't get the project, sometimes no any current project going on, so we ourselves create the opportunity. In that case, what we do, we collaborate with the industry partners, and where we connect students with them. We pitch the proposal, they accept the proposal, and we send the student to them. And before sending student to them, first we take the few classes related to that topic or related to that subject. So I am here quoting the example of a subject in fashion department, that is draping and styling. So we collaborated with the vendors who have raw materials, fabrics and all. So we took the classes on draping and styling. Student went there, and they hands-on the customers. They handle the customers. They explain the customer regarding the fabric, what kind of fabric we can use for which type of work, which type of styling. And they, they draped those draping and that cloths on the customer. And at the end of the day, we conducted a very informal fashion show in that store only, right? So everyone was very happy. Customers are happy because they got to know some style, some draping. Shopkeeper or shop owner or the vendor is also very happy because they are getting the new thing, and their material is being exposed and being sold. And students are very happy because they are getting the direct knowledge, direct client handling and everything. So in that manner, we do such kind of things to involve the students, to give them a project-based learning. And one more example in the similar way, for the interior department, that as like in the fashion, we collaborated with the vendors and all. In the interior, again, we collaborated with the interior material vendors. So where a student went, they asked for the vendors or shopkeepers or shop owners to provide some 3 feet by 3 feet of space to the students, where they display vendors products only to sell, to showcase to the customer, to showcase to the walking customer, right? So they design very beautifully, and after 2-3 months, a student went again there, and they took the feedback from the shopkeeper, shop owner, that what is your feedback, what sales, is there any increment in the sales, or what is the feedback of your customer or any walk-in customer. footfall is was increased or not. So such kind of activity we do, and definitely we as a teacher and a student, we both got very good review on it.
So it can be said that your project based learning and practical based learning are being combined to form new things in the industry as well.
Definitely, we try that whatever student is learning in the classroom, that should be applicable, and he or she should know what is the application which is I am learning, or which is I am reading, or which is I am going through in the class.
So since we are talking about participation of students in learning activities, what is your take on students learning by themselves? Right. For example, we have seen there are many resources available right now, and also when we talk about a curriculum per se, students start learning early. Right. For example, if you have your college, holidays or vacations, some of them are already learning, and when they reach your classroom, they are already equipped with the lessons that you are about to give. So what is your take on that, and how do you handle that?
Actually, lots of things are there for this question. First one is at the starting of the semester. What we do, every subject faculty prepare a course handout where he or she or the subject faculty mention each and everything about that subject, related to date of the lecture, related to the time duration of the lecture, related to the content, PPTs, presentations, links, videos, reference material, assignment format,
There's a lot of
everything.
Yes.
It was mentioned in the handout, and before starting the class, it was shared with the student, and student go through it before entering the class, right? So they they are well prepared about the topic.
Yes, they're
And
all prepared about.
Yes. So that is one methodology. And what is the benefit of that methodology is, when they come into the class, teacher and student both can focus on the discussion.
Yes, because
Right.
both are on the same page.
Yes, on the application based learnings and on the further research related to that topic. So I think it is very good approach, and students are very satisfied with this kind of practice. So this was the one example, and the another example is like we are in the practice of introducing MOOC courses, NPTEL courses, SWAYAM courses, LinkedIn courses, Coursera courses, and courses from any other reputed university. So we give credit to the students. Some credit points we have reserved for such kind of courses for the students, so that they can learn anything from anywhere. So the area there, their contact area is not limited, it's bigger. And in the same way, when students do such kind of courses, we have one more option, that is elective courses. So in that elective courses, what actually we are practicing in our Vivekananda Global University is we give students elective courses. We make the bouquet of courses, and student can design their curriculum on their own. They can choose their curriculum on their own by choosing different subjects from the different domain. So every student is learning something else. The combination of every student, the combination of the subject for every student is different, because he himself is choosing something else. And as you were talking about the students' freedom or flexibility or self-paced learning, so yes, as we are introducing this credit point system, this elective courses, and this MOOC and courses doing from other reputed university, so they are getting very flexible system and self-paced learning, so that they can learn, they can practice, they can do revisions on their own at their comfortable. Yes, at their pace. And one more thing we are introducing in university, we are into the practice since very long time, that we are using LMS portal and ERP, where we upload everything, links, PPTs, all the course content, reading materials, and related references. So we upload there, and student can access those contents anytime from anywhere. So again, there is a much flexibility for the students. They can design their curriculum, they can read or revise everything as per their time. So yes, now the scenario is completely changed, and students is the whole soul honor.
So after listening to you, it feels like students are not going to classrooms anymore. Classrooms are coming to students. Like they have access to everything. But that that actually stresses me about one thing. Like students, are ready to learn on their own, and for that they have multiple resources. There's AI, there are podcasts, there are different courses, there are sometimes there are curriculums different than what university is teaching, but the domain is same.
Yes.
So what do you think about those? Like if a student tries to learn something on their own, but they are not aligned directly with the university, but they are on the same path. So what is your take on that? And like basically, if I ask you an overview of how do you think these things like your AI, your digital content platforms, YouTube is one of the biggest platforms where students are learning specifically for coding and specifically for other things. So what is your take on that?
See, all these things, I mean, the exposure to AI and exposure to these such kind of digital platform and the globalization, there is no limit. So these things definitely help students to make their experience, to make their learning experience very special and personalized. So every student is learning something or other, but they are learning of their choices. And exposing this AI and other platforms, it doesn't mean that there is no any requirement of teacher. Actually, teachers are playing a role of a mentor. So definitely students are doing on their own, but teachers mentor them.
Yes, that is correct. Like, the new education policy also states, that it's about mentoring. But the thing is, if you are, for example, teaching someone, numerals, right? And someone is coming with Roman numerals, right? So they are all, like, you guys are working on the same path, you guys are working on same counting, but the approach is different. So how do mentors align this
Yes,
thing with
yes.
their students?
Yeah, I got your point. That is very good question, in fact. Actually, our pedagogy system is student-centric.
All right.
So we don't do the things like what I have prepared, I just deliver in the class. I don't do like that. And no one do like that. Actually, we understand the students, and we definitely consider that every student not learn the same way.
Yes.
Right? So we develop a system, and we mix all kind of learning system in our pedagogy to help the different kinds of approaches and to help the different kind of students learning perspective. So if I give the example, some are very comfortable with the visual learning, some are comfortable with the we can say verbal learning, some are with the aesthetics, and some are very comfortable with the hands-on everything. So we mix all kind of pedagogies in our schedule, in our exercises. So if anyone is comfortable with the visual presentation or visual learning, so we give them videos, right, some clippings or some digital presentation. And if some are very comfortable with the verbal learning, so
Resources are available in every format today.
definitely.
Yes.
So so for verbal learners, we give them group discussion kind of things, podcast, or some debate competition, or we can say the presentation led by students. So they themselves present and themselves learns. So such kind of things we definitely incorporate. Some feel very comfortable with the hands-on learning. So we provide them labs, we provide them materials, they do material exploration, and they do project-based learning. So I think we are implementing all kind of things to the student-centric.
So talking about student-centric, one thing that students hate is assessments. Like they have to, fill their copies with everything. They have to prepare everything by their hand.
Yes.
And AI is also helping them a lot these days, but still students don't like doing assessments. So are assessments still a thing, or, like since everything has moved from, a basic classroom to a practical learning ground. So what is the role of assessments these days?
See, assessment has always very important role,
Yes.
but the form of assessment has been changed, right?
Right.
So it's a very great question from the point of view teachers and from the point of view students as well. So actually we are moving away from assessing or from testing the students' memories. We don't assess the student memories. Those days are
Yes, that is
Yes.
exactly the question I was asking. Like,
definitely.
students are asked to, cram things and, just write it down on a paper.
Yes,
And
yes. So we just don't assess the memory of the student. We focus on the skill building. We focus on enhancing the ability of students to analyze, to interpret, to apply the things, right? So many a times in university we conduct the open book exam where memory doesn't matter. What matters is students self analytical skills.
yes.
So we test on that, right? So many of the students, as I just mentioned, that we promote project based learning, we promote presentations, verbal presentations, we promote group work, teamwork. So in all these kind of activities we test the students ability.
So it can be said that, students are not just learning things to get past, they are more more happy to apply things on their own. More conceptual learning is being paced.
Yes.
Okay, so I'll just take this a notch down now. Like I just go to a silly question now.
Yes.
You have seen, the change in the horizon of education, right? So you were a part of this industry when, classroom learning was confined to blackboards and chalks,
Yes.
just answering questions and asking them. And today when things are, like have gone past that, have completely changed from classroom to, going to industries, learning projects, making industry, like things have become more industry specific.
Yes,
So
definitely.
what things have you noticed in this change, and was this change easy to adopt?
Definitely, this change is very easy to adopt because delivering a lecture whole time or listening a lecture whole time from the teacher that was very difficult.
Yes.
But nowadays, this thing is very easy and very adoptable. And I think students are very happy, teachers are very happy, because ultimately why one is studying in the college or university or in a school, just because to get the knowledge and to apply that knowledge in the actual real time projects and in the real time, right? So we test or we develop students and we make the students market ready, industry ready, right? It's a very wonderful process or wonderful change which is evolving nowadays, and everyone has adopted it very easily, very comfortably, and students are very enjoying this process.
So when we talk about making students market ready, what do you think were the limitations in the previous classrooms that were stopping them from being market ready? Because, in the past few years, they've also heard that, many of the students are being unemployed, and there, the unemployment rate has gone higher. Students को degree मिल जाती है लेकिन नौकरी नहीं मिलती. That was basically the main thing. And today we have, like, things have started to change. Like, people are focusing more on entrepreneurship, more on skill based learning, more on, applying their skills to start early in their career. So what do you think were the limitations back then? And do you think these limitations will, what is the root of these limitations?
Actually, that time the limitation was that only the theoretical knowledge
Was being
were
passed.
being
Yes.
were being introduced to the students. But nowadays, the more focus on the practical knowledge and the application based knowledge. So this is the major difference between both the past education system and the recent education system, and definitely introducing students to the market for the summer internships, for the industrial internship, for the training, for the project based learning, for the live project, and a huge exposure is given to the students. So I think this is the bridge which is
Which is being built
yes,
by the students,
By-
for the students.
yes, definitely. So I think there is no more teachers, there is no more students, there is no more institutes. Actually, teachers are converted into the mentors and the guides, and students are being converted in the we can say active
Active learners, yeah.
active learner and the contributor itself, because they are doing research and they are contributing in the domain as a student, right? And institutes are now changing as a learning experience hub, not as
As a class.
not as a classroom or a institute, typical institutes. So that's it.
That is really amazing to listen. Like, the way education system has changed over the past few years, which was much needed.
Yes.
I really, the classrooms have been one of the few things that has been an integral part of every student. But they were not liking it, they were not liking the experience, or some people, just who liked it, but just stayed limited because things were like that. And with these changes, certainly the Ranchhod Das that everyone has in their own,
Yes.
like, like when we were talking, I just, that scene where, the zip goes up and down,
Yes.
that clicked in my brain, because, when we talk about learning things and, applying things, so that scene was the perfect example how, Amir Khan tried to show that, you have a 7-line
Yes.
definition, but I have just 1 line for that. And that makes the difference.
Definitely. So we are trying to give that approach, that perspective, that kind of thought process to the students so that they can apply everything, whatever they are learning in the class, in the actual field, in the industry.
Ma'am, when we talk about changing the approach of learning, what do you think a student should prepare themselves to when they come to a university, or entering the education system? क्योंकि हम लोग जो देखते हैं, when we talk about learning, the roots of learning are defined in your school days, in your early days when you are learning, and when where the true meaning of classroom a student understands. So what do you think is the conditioning that a university needs, first of all, and what do you think is the route where things need to be changed, or what are the things that our current education, like we have talked about things that have massively changed in the industry, and but are there still any limitations that we need to address, be it on the router level, be it on in your university level, be it any other level? So what are your thoughts on that?
See, if we talk about the roots, so roots start from the school as well as from the home.
Yes,
Right.
yes.
So I think on both the level, the system is evolving on both the level. Earlier, it was not like that, but now it is evolving. And schools also giving exposure to the students for the internships, for the research, for the incubation kind of things, for entrepreneurship. So students who are coming from such kind of background are already prepared for such kind of college education, right? And in fact, if some of the students are not ready to adopt those kind of atmosphere, or we can say that kind of environment, so we prepare them, right? So Vivekananda Global University prepare all kind of students and for market ready, and we mix the all kind of learning system in our pedagogy, which become student centric. So whether students are ready or not ready, we prepare them.
But the evolution of education system, like as we see from the ground level, do you think the same way education is changing in tier 2, tier 3 cities as well? For example, if we go to any college, any school, the thing is, this is your lecture time, this is when you have to enter, and this is your uniform, and these are the things. Of course, universities are trying to break the norms, universities are trying to do everything, to make education more accessible to the students, to make it more lovable, if it is the right word, make it more lovable, and make it more experiential for them, right?
See, we try to make the education system experiential based, right?
Yes.
But at the same time, we don't remove discipline from our system.
All right.
So yes, there is a time to entering the class, there is a time to get out from the
Yes.
class.
Leave the class.
And there is time for everything, but at the same time, we have given the flexibility also in that time duration. So both the things we are balancing, the discipline as well and the flexibility as well, because sometimes we see if we give the flexibility, a student take undue advantage, and if the student is not self motivated or
Yes.
not self disciplined,
Yes.
they will definitely make the disaster
Yes.
out of those
That
flexibilities.
is definitely a disaster in the
Yes.
making.
So we take the follow up. So that's why I am saying that at Vivekananda Global University, we are trying to balance between both the things, that is flexibility and at the same time the discipline.
And I guess that is where the inclusivity of the current education
Yes.
comes into.
Yes, definitely.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for sharing all those insights about the education system. I believe after listening to you, all the Ranchhod Das in the country right now will be smiling, because 3 Idiots gave us a dream. right? For every student, Three Idiots was like, I want to learn like Ranchhod Das, I want to be like Ranchhod Das. Sure, the movie was about something else, but it surely highlighted the flaws of the education system. And I'm glad to know that, the current system is working towards making it better and better and better. I hope you guys enjoyed the episode. And learning has never been, learning can never be limited to classrooms, boards, and chalks. It's about the approach that you take and the faculties that you choose. So choose wisely. Thank you for listening. Bye bye.